Benny felt a sudden shift in his excitement. The unexpected realization sparked a new thought. He needed his pacifier. It wasn't just a comfort. It was like a piece of him that made everything feel whole. As he searched through the nearby grass, his fingers brushed against something soft and familiar. There it was, tucked away near a wildflower. He picked it up, smiled, and took a moment for himself, feeling the warmth and calm wash over him like a gentle tide. It reminded him that sometimes little things can bring big comfort. With that soothing moment past, he turned back to his friends, bursting with enthusiasm again. "Hey, is it time for another adventure?" he asked, his voice bubbling with joy. Pippin and Bella cheered in agreement. A bright energy pulsed among them, filling the air with anticipation. Felix, who had been deep in thought, suddenly hopped up. "What if we could uncover the hidden secrets of the forest, like the stories behind the tall trees or the songs of the wind?" Suddenly, Bella pointed at a vibrant flower patch nearby. "Look at those flowers. What if they guide us?" Each bloom seemed to sway in a rhythm, almost as if leading them toward something magical. Intrigued, they decided to follow the path the flowers created. The scent of blossoms surrounded them, lifting their spirits even higher. Benny felt alive, eager for the adventure ahead. As they walked, the trees whispered secrets. Leaves shimmered like laughter in the sunlight. They stumbled upon patches where the light broke through, illuminating secret symbols on the ground. Benny crouched down, tracing the designs with his fingers. "Do you think these tell a story?" he pondered, feeling the connection between them grow stronger. Felix, always the curious one, suggested they try to decipher the symbols together. Suddenly, as they were deep in thought, Benny realized he needed a quick diaper change. It struck him as humorous, yet oddly fitting for their adventure. "Wait," he chuckled. "Even adventurers need to take care of business." Pippin burst into laughter, and Bella nodded, her giggles echoing in the woods. They all decided to take a short break on a nearby mossy log. As they settled down, Benny felt reassured. This was part of their journey, too, taking care of themselves while navigating friendships and adventures. Once everything was sorted, Benny sprang back to his feet. He looked at his friends, noticing the way they sparkled with eagerness. "Let's see what other treasures we can find." With renewed energy, they marched on, feeling invincible. The forest seemed alive with possibilities. New paths opened up, leading them to a grove where the trees formed a perfect circle. Here, the world felt sacred, and deep within it, they felt a heartbeat rhythmically resonating with their own. Benny knew that they were on the brink of something special. With the pond sparkling in front of them, Benny felt a rush of independence. The adventure suddenly became more than just fun. It was about growth. He glanced at Pippin and Bella. Their laughter intertwined with the gentle splashes of water. He realized he no longer needed his pacifier. He was ready to embrace everything this world had to offer. For the first time, he was excited about the next steps in his journey. "Can you feel it?" Bella asked, her eyes wide with wonder. "The energy in the air?" Benny nodded, understanding that something great was about to happen. The water sprite hovered just above the pond, her presence filling the space with warmth. As they sang together, she swirled the ripples into patterns that danced with the music. Each note cast a spell, wrapping around them in an embrace of pure magic. Benny thought about the moments shared. These friends had become more than companions. They were a family of adventurers. Suddenly, the sprite tilted her head, as if she sensed their unspoken desires. "You seek not just treasure, but experiences that weave into your hearts," she said. As she spoke, the pond began to shift again, revealing multiple paths leading into the woods. Each path shimmered, showing hints of what lay ahead. One path was adorned with lanterns made of fireflies, while another was lush with flowers that whispered secrets. Benny felt the thrill of a million possibilities bloom in his chest. "Which one do we choose?" Felix wondered aloud, his voice echoing with eagerness. Benny looked at his friends, and his heart swelled with joy. They had each other, and together they could tackle whatever lay beyond. "Let's follow the fireflies first," he announced, their paths crossing, lights dancing around them. They took off down the lantern-lit trail. The air crackled with excitement, making their hearts race as they stepped into a. As they arrived, the glade revealed a different kind of magic. It was a place of dreams. They found a group of creatures, each one unique. From furry critters, playing with glowing orbs to wise old owls. Perched upon ancient trees, the owls called out cryptic wisdom, offering glimpses into future challenges and adventures. The friends listened, absorbing every word like valuable treasure. Benny felt a sense of pride wash over him. He fully grasped that his journey was about more than seeking adventure. It was about learning and growing together. The friends moved deeper into the glade, where a mysterious creature greeted them. It was a gentle giant made entirely of vines and flowers. "Welcome, young ones," he greeted in a voice that rumbled like soft thunder. "You found the heart of the enchanted woods. In the warmth of friendship, you'll discover your true strength." Benny exchanged excited glances with Pippin and Bella. They realized that their original wish for more adventures would take them through lessons of courage, compassion, and discovery. With newfound courage, Benny took charge. Benny stood by the shimmering pond, still basking in the joy of his wish. But amidst all the excitement, he felt a slight tug at his heart. His trusty pacifier, his little companion during adventures, was missing. The realization made his cheeks flush a soft pink. He turned to Pippin, his wide eyes now clouded with worry.
My pacifier. I lost it.
Pippin tilted his head, understanding the distress in Benny's voice. "Don't fret. Let's retrace our steps. It must be here somewhere." And just like that, their exploration took a new turn. They navigated back through the winding paths, the warmth of the sun casting gentle shadows around them. As they scanned the ground, Felix danced through the grass, making funny shapes to lighten the mood. "What about a treasure hunt?" he suggested, voice full of enthusiasm. "If we can find the sprite, we can surely find your pacifier." With renewed energy, they all began to search together, invoking their playful spirit as they laughed in the midst of their quest. As they moved deeper into the woods, the air shimmered with enchantment. Brightly colored flowers swayed under the sun. Petals formed intricate patterns like whispers of friendship. Benny started to relax. The woods felt alive, almost as if they were participating in the search. A butterfly fluttered past, landing delicately on a nearby flower. Benny reached out, hoping for a sign.
Maybe if we talk to the trees,
He proposed, gesturing to the ancient trunks towering around them.
they might know where to find it.
His friends giggled.
Let's do it.
They agreed, forming a circle once again, this time to whisper their plea to the wise trees. To their surprise, the trees answered, their leaves rustling in delight as if sharing an ancient secret. A low, soft voice creaked through the branches. "Oh dear child, your pacifier lies near the glade of moonlit memories, beneath a blanket of sparkling stars." Benny's heart soared. Hope blossomed anew, filling the group with purpose.
Let's hurry,
Shouted Pippin excitedly, leading the charge down a hidden path lined with glistening stones. As they arrived at the glade, the scene took Benny's breath away. Twinkling fireflies danced above a small patch of grass, where his beloved pacifier lay sparkling like a fallen star. Benny rushed to pick it up. Relief chased away his earlier unease, and the familiar object felt like a warm hug in his hand.
I found it.
He cheered, and laughter erupted. Bella twirled around, singing a silly song about lost treasures and newfound joy. Just as they celebrated, a gentle breeze swept through the glade, carrying hints of laughter. The water sprite reappeared, her eyes sparkling with warmth. "I see your hearts have grown fonder through your adventures," she said, eyes gleaming. Benny smiled, pacifier in hand, now feeling whole once more. "We've learned together that every twist brings us closer," he said, and the sprite nodded. As the giggles from the night festival lingered in his mind, Benny felt the familiar urge to explore even more. The enchanted woods held mysteries yet untold. New sights and sounds beckoned to him, and with each thought, he could almost feel a new path unfurling. Maybe they could find a hidden glade or a secret passageway that would lead them to even greater adventures. The flora around them seemed alive with potential. Benny's fingers brushed the petals of nearby flowers. They shimmered in appreciation, their soft colors glowing as if responding to his thoughts. He turned to Pippin, his voice buzzing with excitement. "What other wonders could we uncover in the woods?" Pippin's eyes sparkled. He leaned closer, their whispers blending with the gentle breeze. "Follow me. I know just the place." With a quick hop, the daring penguin darted ahead, leading the way through winding paths, where wildflowers swayed to a rhythm. Only they could hear. The sunlight warmed their backs, encouraging them to dive deeper into the unknown. After a few twists and turns, they reached an area unlike anywhere Benny had been before. A hidden pond lay nestled beneath a canopy of glimmering leaves. The water sparkled as though it held all the colors of the rainbow. It seemed to call Benny's name, inviting him to dip his fingers and feel the cool refreshment. Suddenly, Bella bounced beside him, her enthusiasm matched only by Benny's. "Let's create ripples," she exclaimed. They took turns splashing each other, laughter ringing through the air as Felix performed his funniest antics, making the pond shimmer even more with their joy. Benny grew curious about the pond's deeper magic. Is there treasure in the water? He wondered aloud. Felix's ears perked up. "There's a legend," he began, "about a shy water sprite who guards sparkling treasures, hidden below the calm surface. They say she grants wishes to those who can find her." With that, Benny's heart raced at the thought of discovering this sprite and unearthing something truly special. How could they find her? Pippin suggested they sing a sweet tune. "Water sprites love music," he said eagerly. They gathered in a circle around the pond, harmonious voices mingling in the air, creating melodies that danced on the surface of the water. Benny closed his eyes, feeling love and gratitude fill the air. "I wish for more adventures together," he said softly. With that wish, the sprites' laughter bounced around them, filling every corner with enchantment. The air sparkled like the stars above. In an instant, the pond glowed, revealing colorful paths twisting away into new landscapes. Benny opened his eyes, marveling at the sight of endless adventures awaiting them. "Together," he whispered, realizing the real treasure wasn't just the destinations, but the friendships formed along the way. The woods promised many more enchanting stories, and the bonds they forged would carry magic far beyond their imagination. Benny woke to the soft sunlight streaming through his window, the golden rays dancing around his cozy room. Mr. Snuggles sat propped against his pillow, ready to remind him of their next adventure. Today felt different. Benny could almost hear the distant echoes of laughter from the land of waddling whimsies. His heart raced with anticipation. The thought of new friends and fresh experiences brewed within him, beckoning him to explore further than before. While changing into his favorite blue overalls, he couldn't shake the feeling that something magical awaited him. After the diaper change, Benny grabbed Mr. Snuggles and whispered, "Let's go find Pippin." With a quick wiggle of his pacifier, Benny felt the familiar tug of magic pulling him away. Suddenly, he was transported to a sun-kissed meadow where the grass glimmered as if sprinkled with fairy dust. The cotton candy sky above expanded endlessly. He could hear giggling and splashes nearby. Curiosity drew him toward the sounds, and soon he stumbled upon a gathering of plush animals, all frolicking together by the sweet stream. Pippin, the daring penguin in his vibrant cape, spotted Benny first. "Hey there, Benny. We were just discussing our next grand quest." His tiny voice carried excitement that ignited Benny's spirit. Pippin introduced Benny to Bella the bunny, who had the fluffiest tail, and Felix the fox, whose mischievous grin hinted at many playful tricks. The forest was alive with enchantment, where trees hummed gentle tunes, and flowers sang harmonies to those passing by. Each character stirred Benny's heart, making him feel at home in this wonderful world. "Today, we need a brave soul to help us collect the twinkling fireflies for the night festival," Pippin announced. Benny's eyes sparkled at the thought of joining in. The night festival was an annual event, celebrated with games and stories under the moonlit sky. "I'll help," he declared, his confidence soaring. The group cheered with delight, and together they ventured into the enchanted woods, where rainbow-colored fireflies flitted about, illuminating the paths like tiny lanterns. Benny felt a rush of joy as he chased after them, trying to catch each glowing creature in his hands. As the sun began to set, they made their way back to the meadow, where the other plush friends were waiting in anticipation. Benny placed the jar. The night unfolded like a storybook, filled with laughter, dancing, and sharing wishes. Benny claimed his moment, shining brightly next to his friends. But as the stars twinkled overhead, he heard the faint chime of the timer ringing, evoking the familiar call of his cozy corner. "Time to go," he sighed, but Benny awoke the next morning with a sense of determination. His dreams echoed in his mind, Today is the day I venture deeper into the land of waddling whimsies, he declared, glancing at Mr. Snuggles, who nodded in agreement. The sun poured light into his room, and he felt an irresistible pull towards his imaginary land. He could almost hear Pippin and Sir Bouncy calling him back for more fun. As he wiggled his pacifier, the transformation began. Colors swirled, and Benny found himself standing at the entrance of Glittering Grove again. The trees practically sparkled, their leaves reflecting shades of gold and silver. They swayed as if welcoming him back. But this time, there was more than just the cheerful bunnies and playful penguins. A gathering of all the plush animals stood before a majestic castle made of fluffy clouds, where a grand celebration was already underway. Benny's heart soared at the sight. It felt like a festival dedicated to laughter, joy, and friendship. "Benny, you've arrived," Pippin exclaimed, cape flapping vigorously as he waddled toward him. "We're having a grand dance party to celebrate being brave." Benny felt a rush of excitement. How could he resist the call to dance? The animals formed a circle while Benny joined them. His spirit lifted as he twirled with Pippin. They spun and skipped, with laughter echoing beneath the cotton candy sky. As jelly beans rained down like confetti from above, the colors swirled around him, each burst igniting joy within. Just when Benny thought the fun couldn't get any better, Sir Bouncy Bunny approached with a surprise. "Benny, would you like to join the royal quest?" he asked, his floppy ears perking up. Benny nodded eagerly. The quest was to find the fabled giggle gem, said to bring laughter to all who possessed it. "But there's a twist," Sir Bouncy added. "To find it, you must solve the riddle of the whispering wind." Benny felt a flutter of thrill mixed with a tinge of nervousness. Would he be clever enough? But he had friends by his side. As they journeyed beyond Glittering Grove, the landscape transformed. The air became filled with melodies, as flowers sang in harmony. Soon, they reached the whispering wind. A gentle breeze rustled through the branches, and it spoke, "What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees." Benny thought hard. Images of deep, solid things floated through his mind. "A mountain," he finally declared. The wind chuckled in delight, swirling around them and revealing a hidden path, shimmering under the sunlight. Inside, Benny found the giggle gem, glowing softly in hues of happiness. As he touched it, waves of laughter filled the cave. Benny laughed, and so did all the plush animals. The gem didn't just sparkle. It released a joy that would spread to everyone in Waddling Whimsies. With the quest complete, Benny felt a sense of accomplishment. But soon, a familiar ringing echoed. The timer signaled the end of his adventure. Benny sighed. Benny's imagination roamed vast landscapes. Each morning, as sunlight seeped into the pastel world, it transformed into a magical realm, where everything had a personality. His teddy bear, named Mr. Snuggles, wasn't just a toy. He was a wise sage, whispering tales of the land of Waddling Whimsies, where all the plush animals gathered for grand quests. The stories blended seamlessly with Benny's dreams, fueling his desire to venture beyond his cozy corner. In Waddling Whimsies, the grass shimmered like emeralds under a cotton candy sky. Benny envisioned running through fields while penguins twirled in rhythm, led by the bravest one named Pippin. Pippin was no ordinary penguin. He wore a tiny cape fashioned from a colorful handkerchief, flapping proudly as he waddled. Benny laughed at the thought of joining Pippin, imagining how they would slide down rainbow slides or chase after shimmering butterflies that giggled when caught. One day, Benny decided it was time to meet these imaginary friends. "Mr. Snuggles, let's go on a journey," he whispered. The teddy bear's eyes sparkled as if encouraging Benny. The absence of fear filled him. Instead, excitement bubbled like a fizzy drink. Just a wiggle of his pacifier, and a few squeaks of joy, and he could be transported into vibrant adventures filled with delightful surprises. Venturing forth, Benny faced a cushy critter named Sir Bouncy Bunny, with his floppy ears and bouncy feet. Sir Bouncy invited Benny to hop along the Glittering Grove, a place where everything sparkled with happiness. "You must share your biggest giggle to cross the bridge," he declared, and Benny, with all his heart, let out a laugh that echoed throughout the grove. It was the kind of laughter that made daisies dance and butterflies flutter in joy. As they traveled deeper, Benny stumbled upon a candy fountain, its streams bubbling with every flavor imaginable. Benny's eyes widened. Is this real? He exclaimed in awe. Each drop sparkled with colors, tempting him like a cozy blanket on a chilly day. Sir Bouncy giggled and shouted, "It's always real in waddling whimsies." Benny tried rainbow swirled lollipops and fizzy taffy, savoring every moment. The sweetness swirled around him, making his heart race with joy. Before Benny knew it, a timer rang in his cozy corner. The soft voice reminded him of chores. "Time for a diaper change. But I want to stay," said, frowning slightly. Mr. Snuggles nudged him gently and replied, "You can always return, Benny. This world waits for you. Adventure will always be here." With that thought, Benny felt a sense of peace, knowing that even if he had to pause, the land of waddling whimsies was a dream away. As he returned to his snug corner, a smile lingered on his face, promising more adventures with morning sun and playful penguins. Benny's heart bubbled with excitement as he stepped into the land of waddling whimsies once again. The moment his tiny feet touched the vibrant, squishy ground, the air filled with the sweet scent of cotton candy and fresh candy corn. Each blade of grass hummed a happy tune, sparking his curiosity. Everywhere he looked, plush animals danced and played, their cheerful voices ringing like a joyful choir. Benny felt a sense of belonging, as if he had finally returned to a place that understood him. As he explored further, Benny discovered the Whispering Willow, a grand tree with branches that twinkled like stars. At its base sat Fernie, a wise old frog who wore glasses perched on his nose. Each day, he shared stories of the realms beyond the sparkly hills. "Ah, young Benny," Fernie croaked. "Do you know about the Festival of Flavors?" Benny's eyes widened. He had never heard of such an event. It's a celebration where all the creatures unite to create the most delightful dishes. You simply must join. Benny felt giddy at the thought of tasting new treats and meeting even more friends, all while having a grand time. Chatter filled the air as they worked. "We need a secret ingredient," one rabbit said. "Something to make it super special." Benny thought hard. What if we dust it with fairy sparkles? The rabbits paused, their ears perked up with excitement. Benny's idea ignited a frenzy of creativity. They picked sprinkles from the fairy sprinkle stall, a place where tiny sprites happily served piping hot cupcakes. And before long, the pies were glimmering with magic. The festival reached its peak as Benny and his new friends gathered for the taste test showdown. Animals from different lands came to showcase their creations. Pippin the penguin waddled forward with a dazzling fruit salad, his cape fluttering in the breeze. Benny cheered as Pippin confidently presented his dish. And to everyone's surprise, he served it with a side of giggles that tickled their toes. "Oh, how clever!" Benny exclaimed, and the audience erupted with laughter. It was a moment of unity. Everyone was delighted, forgetting their differences as they appreciated each other's talents. As the festivities began to wind down, Benny felt a tinge of sadness creeping in. Yet, Mr. Snuggles' words echoed in his mind. Adventure will always be here. He knew this wasn't a farewell, but a promise. With a heart full of laughter and memories stitched together like a patchwork quilt, Benny waved goodbye to his plush pals. "I'll be back," he called, and they all cheered in unison, filling him with warmth. Benny returned to his cozy corner, knowing tomorrow would bring a new dawn, a new adventure, and another visit to the land of waddling whimsies.